Hello friends, it's me Marie. Today I have a very important task to do. I'm going to rake these leaves that are just scattered everywhere on the lawn, on our yard. Sometime last year, no, actually this year, 2020, around June, I posted a video about my chayote plant that came back for the 5th time. And considering that chayote plant is actually a tropical vegetable, a chayote, mirliton, whatever you call it, is a tropical viney squash. Surprisingly, it came back for the 5th time, and this year is the 5th time that it came back. And as I told you before, that the only thing that made it come back is because I cover the base of the plant. So basically, it's the same idea. If you cover the base of the onions and the garlic, it will actually protect the base of the plant. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you today what I did and how big of a covering around the base of the chayote plant. And since this is the perfect time, perfect season to gather all these leaves, because there's so much leaves and they're like everywhere, so I'm going to make use of these leaves to protect or cover the base of my chayote plant. And of course, you can freely use other stuff, like maybe the mulch that you can buy in stores. I would suggest maybe pine needles, leaves, and anything that would pack gently, but it could make it really thick. So this is what I'm going to use, because this is what we have and this is what's available in our property, and this is what I've been using for 5 years in a row, that every fall season, this is what I use. So join me. I hope you will learn something from it. If you have a chayote plant, if you have my dog is barking. If you have a chayote plant and you want to save it, and you can try, and of course you have to remember that each state has its own zoning. It's called an agricultural zoning. Here in Tennessee, there are 2 zones, Zone A and Zone B. Zone 7A, where we live, is Zone 7A, and where my in-laws live is Zone 7B. Okay, so the higher the number, the hotter the temperature, or the hotter the weather. The lower, the smaller the number, which is the 1, 2, or 3, they are cold. The climate or the weather in the area is cold. Okay, so you have to keep that in mind if you want to plant something in the cold during the cold season, or during the winter months. Okay. So here is my chayote plant that grew back or came back for the 5th time this year. So So when I planted it the first time, that was 2015, and this is 2020. And this year I've had like about a basketful of chayote squash. I didn't have a lot, but it's because the frost came early this year. Anyway, each year is different, but each year I do get some harvest. And yeah, this is what I did since the year that I planted this chayote plant. So what we've been doing is that we use the mulch or leaves that are just laying around during fall season, and obviously it helps. So what I have here is just a thick kind of sheet. It's like a tarp, but it's not really. It's like a canvas. But anyway, we use this and just collect or gather the leaves and haul them, and like that. It's about 3 feet high and maybe 8 feet around the plant. I actually have 4 chayote plants. So far I have covered the base of the plant on one and the oldest chayote plant I have. So since there are 2 chayote plants on this side, so I will just connect the pile together so that way it's big. And as you know, the bigger the plant, especially on viney plants, the wider the tendrils or however long they go. The root system also has spread, so it spreads. If the plant is a spreading plant, the root system also spreads. So it's easy to assume that the root of this particular chayote could be over here. So the wider, the bigger the pile, the better, because it can protect, or it will help protect the roots that are already out and spreading around the plant. So this is what I'm gonna do. There you go. I have 3 more plants to cover. So I finally finished piling the leaf mulch, the leaves that I rake off of our yard. And I hope you learned something from this video, but I do want to point out a few other things. Just a reminder that you have to make sure that you know the lowest temperature when it comes to protecting the chayote plant, because sometimes when cold season comes, and like in fall season, sometimes the frost, it comes early. So make sure that you have something to cover around the base of the plant if you are concerned about it freezing. Like here in Tennessee, we are in zone 7, so obviously the leaves will not be around until November or end of September. So if you are really concerned, you may want to consider getting like other types of mulch, like pine needles, something like that. So your option is not only leaves, but the reason why I'm using these, because this is what we have available and it's cheap. We don't have to buy these leaves. And so far, like I told you, the oldest chayote plant I have, it came back. It's a return plant for the 5th time. So obviously it's not really that critical, but if you are living in a place that goes really below freezing early in the year, like if you live in zone 6 or something like that, I haven't tried. Maybe you can try if you are watching this video. Maybe you can try planting a chayote plant and make sure that you cover the base of the plant before the frost. Even if the leaves are still up and green, make sure that you protect the base of the plant as high as 3 feet to 4 feet and as wide as 6 to 8 feet around, or more if you have a lot of leaves or mulch that you can cover the base of the plant. That's very important. Don't wait until you see the piles and the leaves around the yard before you cover your chayote plant. Okay, and of course I want to point out that it's not a guarantee that you're going to have that your chayote plant is going to come back, but the likelihood of your chayote plants to come back if you protect the base of the plant as early as possible before the frost comes. Okay, so this is the best way I can do. If you have other suggestions to keep the chayote plant from coming back, or to keep the chayote plant from coming and growing each year, feel free to comment in the comment section. I would like to hear from you and your experience of how you take care of your chayote plant. The reason why I want my chayote plant to come back every year is because I like chayote plants. And you know, it's a tropical vegetable, it's a viney one, it gets really big, but you know, there's another way that you can keep your chayote plants smaller by trimming it, but of course that will be another video, that will be in another video. And so far this is what I can share with you right now to keep the base of the plant as wide and as thick as possible with the mulch that you can find, be it leaves, mulch or bark or anything like that that could protect. And of course right now these are just bare leaves. Okay, if you have cardboard boxes and if it gets really windy, you can put something on top of these to protect the leaves so they keep around, so they stay around the plants. But then again, if rain comes, it gets packed, so you have to check once in a while. Just make sure that throughout the winter that there are still covering around the base of the plant. Okay, and one more thing is that during springtime, make sure that you check the base of the plant. Like when it gets really warm, you can thin out a little bit around the base of the plant just to keep, just to help the plant feel the warmth of the sun, and it will help with the sprouting or the growing back mode. Okay, but be careful. It's best, I would say it's best to just leave it as it is, even when it comes to springtime, because you don't want the freezing, the up and down temperature in springtime to kill your chayote plant. Okay, so do not uncover or do not thin out the base of the plant too early, because you don't want the chayote plant, the base or the root system, to die. Okay, that's just a few of the tips that I've learned over the 5 years of experience that I've been growing this chayote plant. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and as I said, feel free to comment any good feedback or any suggestions. I am welcoming all your suggestions. Anything that we could help each other as a grower, as a farmer, as a gardener. This is a challenging time that we live in, so as much as possible we help each other, give each other some tips on how to successfully grow plants that will help us sustain throughout the course of time that we don't have to depend in the grocery stores. Okay, fruits and vegetables, whatever it is. Thank you so much for watching. Happy planting!